My air guitar is working. Hello and welcome to another Pregaming on the Game Day, your destination for all things sports, betting, entertainment related. Serena Morales. Cheers to my friend, Kevin Klein. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning. I had a late night. I was at a bar with Urban Meyer last night, a very low-key affair. We don't want it to get out, but we had a fun time. It was a dance party, and I'm not going to say who went home with who, but we had a lot of fun.
We're here every Sunday morning before your Sunday slate of games. We got Law Nation. He'll be joining in us to make an appearance along with our favorite experts, Danny Brasco, and father of Thor, Kenny Betts Big. Urban Meyer is out sick today.
Oh, is that what happened? Yeah, that's called HPV. I know. It gets the best of us. Let me tell you, there's a lot of pregame shows out there. As you know, by this point in the season, most of them are bullshit, middle-aged guys wearing suits and ties, spouting out numbers at you. We don't do that here. We have fun. We drink heavily. We give you bold calls. Obviously, the goal here is to have fun, make you some money as well, and take down the books. As always, we kick things off very fast, 2-minute style. That's right. It's time for your 2-minute drill. Serena, why don't you kick this off with what you're thinking about as we get into this slate of games, week 4?
Kevin, because you were out partying all night, I'll give you a simple one. I'll start simple here. Rams, Cardinals, Broncos, Raiders, Panthers. Who is going to stay undefeated? And maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe I'm throwing something out and it's just Urban Meyer who's crying because, well, this is our joke today. Oh, my God.
You know, it's funny because I don't know if the bigger conversation at this point in the season is which team is going to stay undefeated the longest or which winless team is going to get a win first, right? Because it's kind of like you definitely have the tale of two shitties, I call it, right? You've got the situation where everyone's waiting for the mighty to fall and the not so mighty to finally get a W. I see a lot of the. I'm going to be going to one of the battles of the undefeated a little bit later this morning. I'll be checking out the Rams and the Cardinals battle it out. One of those teams obviously will leave with a blemish on their record. That team will be called the Arizona Cardinals. I believe the Rams stay undefeated today at home. I don't think that's a bold call. I'm sure a little bit later on when Kenny Betts Big joins us, he'll tell me why I'm an idiot for thinking this. But as of right now, I think many of the undefeated teams will remain undefeated. I don't see a lot of big battles with the undefeateds other than that one happening in Southern California a little bit later on today.
Okay. Well, and you are also going to the Rams game, which is why you did your hair very similarly to Sean McVay. So I'm excited for that. What's your topic?
Well, they have a new rule there. It's like Kim Jong-un. Everyone who goes to the game has to have a haircut, just like Sean McVay. So I've decided that I will follow in suit. There you go. Earned myself my first cup of the day. Keep track. Over/under on my cups today is 7. So keep track of that one. Of course, as always, you can bring your questions to us. My thought here today is show me the money line. There's a lot of money line values today. Obviously, right now, you got the Texans at plus 800 if they actually win that game. I think they're like an 18-point underdog in that one. The Raiders at plus 140. And the Ravens, they're still a negative. It's a minus 108, but I like that as just a good value money line. I don't think the Texans are going to win, but if you believe in the any given Sunday mentality, you might as well take that. It's a pretty big money line for an NFL game and a huge spread for a Bills team that I think is still, maybe they're great, maybe they're so-so. We don't know yet.
We're out of time, but we will get to Kenny Betts Big, who has a love-hate relationship with Josh Allen. So that'll be interesting to hear from his perspective. Either way, we are now going to bring in, we've got a huge game, Panthers, Cowboys. Jerry's, let's welcome in now Law Nation. He's our resident game day creator with a heart of gold and a very special fondness for both Dak Prescott and James. Did James Harden come into the group here? Did he join us for pre-gaming? I'm confused. I think you are. You don't even need to be a second.
Yeah, whenever there's a playoff game, you have to taste all of James Harden's food first to make sure it's not poison, and then he gets to go ahead and eat it and play the game. Are you like his stunt double? Is that what's going on here? Is that what it is? He's been stealing your look?
I think you look younger.
How do we get Jerry Jones like today? How do we all make a ton of money on the Cowboys? I know that you're a diehard fan. Obviously, it's clear by everything going on your shirt and behind you. But we got 6 topics. You're going to do our 6-pack. But these are all based on the game that matters, I think, most right now, for you at least. And let's break it down. What's the first thing you got for us?
Do you hear that little southern twang, Kev? That's just, I mean, that's the only way I'll be able to distinguish these two moving forward, although I do think you look like you've read more than James Harden. What's your second topic? Obviously, start quick. To your point, the Panthers have a top defense, and they're going to sack Dak a lot, I assume. What's your second topic for our 6-pack?
Try to run it with Chuba Hubbard. I think that's how you say that guy's name. But we got to stop the run, make them one-dimensional. I think that's his name, Chuba Hubbard. Y'all know his name. Chuba Hubbard, Chuba.
I believe your pronunciation is Latin-based. I think that's the Latin pronunciation of the name. I believe so. It's funny. It's easier said than done. Look, you talk about every team has a game plan going into Sunday. It's clear they've watched a lot of film. They've watched a lot of. I'm sure they're not getting yelled at for watching as much football during the week as I am in my house, and they're preparing. The question is, this season particularly, and you're a guy that knows the Cowboys inside and out, and you got a chance to see the inside like the rest of us did if we watched Hard Knocks this season. But do you think that they're able to stay to the plan, the one that you're describing right now as we're 2 into your 6-pack, You think it's an easy thing to stick to, or do you think they abort plan quickly and move depending on how that game goes? Because as you know, there's a lot of money on this game, and a lot of it is on the Panthers. A lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, they got to stick to the plan. It's a lot of money. I think that Mike Tyson once said, everyone have a plan until they get punched in the face. So that is one of the things that they got to stick to. But we got one of these plans out here that we're going to score early and often, quick start, stop the run, make the team one-dimensional, and get things going. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I see some people in the chat say they can't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Give me a like, a thumbs up or something.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I was reading some of the chat there. So that's good. Okay, great. Didn't want to repeat his por favor.
Well, my over for you quoting Mike Tyson today, I that wasn't even on my radar. Like, how many times can we do that in a show? James Harden here joining us for pack. What is your third 6-pack topic you want to talk about today?
Oh, the third part would be, hey, we got to use Ezekiel, Elijah, Elliott, and Tony Pollard. We got to use both of those running backs in the backfield. Yeah, we got to use those guys. And especially if you guys are a part of the fantasy club, like Fantasy Points, I know that somebody would like to see Ezekiel score. But the Cowboys, don't get too cute. Use both of your weapons. Come in using every ammunition you have. And even if you have to pull out the machete, there's nothing wrong with that. Cut them up.
Yeah, I'm looking at the line in this one, which is interesting because, as you know, it opened at 5.5. Cowboys favored by 5.5. It's shifted quite a bit. It's a 1.5 shift. It's about 4 right now, depending on where you're getting your lines. And so it would lead me to believe that the public started a little bit more confident in what you're saying Dallas is able to do. It started shifting now. I'm looking at the money. It's kind of moving around, and obviously that's where the books want the money. They want it right down the middle so that they're guaranteed to get their juice, a little taste. And the over-under, which I'm sure we'll get to at some point, but it's right around 51.5. That went up 1.5. So a lot of not a crazy amount of movement, but movement in both stats during the week. And do you feel that is just based on public, opinion, or do you think there's anything that's been happening off the field? You're the insider. You know what's going on with Dallas, obviously. I'm sure you wake up. First thing you do in the morning, I would imagine every morning after you get that beard nice and fluffed up, is you probably check out what's going on with Dallas, right?
Right. And a cup of coffee, too. Most certainly. What's going on with some of those numbers there could be Tony Pollard didn't practice all this week. And it was a situation where congratulations to him. He had a birth of a new child this week. And that was one of the situations where people didn't know why he didn't practice or what have you. So some of the experts might have looked at it and said, are the Cowboys focused this week? Are the Cowboys will stick to the plan of what they did last week against the number 2 defense at the time? But I believe that the Cowboys will be still on the same page of running the rock and getting some things going that way. I do know that the Panthers are top against the run right now, but I think that the Cowboys stick to their philosophy and continue to run the rock to open up the passing. And a good bead of information that everybody need to know is that the Cowboys are pretty much 26-0 when the both running backs or the running back committee runs more than they pass, meaning that, or run more than 25 attempts in a game. So I believe that the Cowboys are going to hit that target with Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard.
I can appreciate the positive. Law Nation goes, we got to run the ball. We got to stick to the plan, even though we're facing a top defense with that front seven that, is clearly proving themselves. However, to your point, Cowboys have had some really tough teams that they played against and they showed up. So here nor there. Let's start with your number for your 6-pack.
Time of possession, TOP.
Number 4.
Yeah. TOP. You gotta control the clock. Yeah, you know me. So when you have the time of possession, meaning that you play keep away, your defense is fresher. And that is all predicated upon if you are able to run, believe it or not. So I think that the Cowboys win this battle just off of TOP. See, everything's
Number 5, Law Nation joining us right now. Of course, the 6-pack, and also I like it when we got a guy that is not as skewed towards one team. I like it when we have a guy that's right down the middle, very objective in all of his claims. Nothing at all. I mean, this is what you're getting. It's real balanced right now. You get. What's number 5? It's like we're being joined by the mascot. It's like we might as well have the mascot for the Cowboys on with us right now.
They said, man, we're not getting no objective analysis. Hey, I tell you what, I'll eat a whole crow if we don't get a chance to do all of this right here. But red zone efficiency level is what we really need to improve on. If anything, the Cowboys are pretty much ranked 13, 14, 15-ish in red zone, which is a big negative for the Cowboys offense. Although they are number one, the efficient level, when they get into the money zone, it seems to fold up like wallets. So if the Panthers have any strong chance of an opportunity, maybe, just maybe, they can stop us when we get into the red zone. So that's some objective analysis,
Objective analysis.
Objective, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. All right. Well, clearly the mascot is James Harden. No, it's amazing. I know you've told us that you get mistaken at airports, but apparently you're a lot shorter than him. But who's to say, right? We don't know. Either way, Law Nation joining us for our 6-pack. You're here on Pregaming. Got Kevin Klein and Law Nation. Our number 6, the key to winning this game, unbiased analysis. You got this one.
Ray Dakota Prescott. He got to stay healthy. And, of course, he got to manage the game. But he got to stay healthy. I know that sounds kind of like cliche, but you got to keep the quarterback upright. So, hey, our biggest reservation, like I had to say, the Carolina Panthers front. They got a nice front 4 right there. You got a big guy named Derrick Brown, who's 6'5", 325 pounds, who gobble up the centers, gobble up the interior guys, especially. We got a guy named Connor Williams, can't bust out of a wet paper bag, and that's just probably part of our problem right there. So if the Panthers, if any hope, kill the interior, beat up our interior offensive linemen. That's where our issues are at right now. If you guys can get to Dak Prescott, and that's going to be a problem. But outside of that, if Dak Prescott stays healthy, and if he can get the ball down the field, everything will be okay.
I know we're out of our your 6-pack, but will you gamble? Do you bet at all on the Cowboys? Are you superstitious in that way? You will not put any of your actual money on your team because your heart is your money? How do you feel about this? Do you have action going on this one?
I don't have any bet on this one, but I do have a score prediction. 31
Bring it on.
to 17, Cowboys.
31.
You heard it. 1,000 to nothing. He thinks it's going to be 1,000 to nothing Cowboys, and a totally objective score prediction.
Look, I will say this to wrap up. Dak has been sacked 7 times this season, but he's also posting a 77% completion. So clearly, to your glorious analysis against this very tough Carolina defense, you're like, even if Dak gets sacked, this man will still somehow help the team get 31 points against a top Carolina defense.
Yeah, let's go. Cowboys averaging right now 28.5. So let's go. Let's get this 31 points. You put up 30 points on Tom Brady and company. I know you can do it against Sam Darnold. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's go.
James Harden, come find your friend here talking craziness. Hey, appreciate
Law Nation.
Glory hole.
Let's go.
Thanks, buddy.
Go,
appreciate you. Law Nation, good luck.
Salute.
Serena.
Kevin, it is time. It is time for the Power Hour. We have powerful people joining us. We have our friend, obviously, Kenny Betts Big, who has a massive dog that's name is Thor. Good naming. Also, Danny Brasco, right here, Yankee fan, Red Solo Cup fan as well. Apparently, Kenny and Danny are friends. You have almost the same name, except you swap out the first 2 letters. That's my observation this early in the morning. But thank you for joining us in our Power Hour. Cheers to you. Let's kick things off. Danny, you have 2 totals that you like this week. We're looking at you to take which one do you plan the under for?
So, pleasure to be here, guys. I'm looking right away at my own boys. I'm a Giants fan. I'm here in New York, and I'm rocking
No bias,
you might
man.
not know that. No, actually, the anti-bias. I'm like a cynical New Yorker about all my teams. And I'm rocking not a Giants jersey, but if I can make the turn here, it's a Replacements jersey, one of my favorite football movies. Shane Falco over here. And really what I'm calling for is a replacement for the entire roster of the New York Giants. It's just a shame. We just can't do anything right. Poorly coached, poor decisions, and we're missing two of our better receivers, Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. I just don't know what Daniel Jones is going to do today against a good Saints defense. Saquon, we're all got high hopes for him, but no one's helping him out. Crappy offensive line, bad play calls. I just don't know how they score, and I think the Saints hang their hat on their defense here. They're really good against the run. So I'm down on my Giants. I'm ready to start betting against them and rooting for a draft pick. That's how you make yourself feel good as a New York fan. You can cynically bet against your team and still have something positive to look forward to. So I'm going with the under in this one because points will be at a premium for sure.
Yeah, it's always nice when you hear a cynical New York fan because the only way you can confuse them is with every other cynical New York fan. It seems to be their happy place is being unhappy with how their teams are performing, and it's I wonder what would happen. Like, what would the conversation right now be between a Jets fan and a Giants fan on a New York subway? Just both of them, just heads held, hanging low, wondering what happened. Maybe finally time they look at each other, and go, maybe we move to Cincinnati where we can get a team to get behind.
I think they're both like 17-49 since 2017. Like, it's the most disgusting record I ever heard of. And when I heard that we have the same record of the Jets, yeah, I'm going to hang my head and walk away from that Jets fan on the train. So he'll have that over me, It's a bad time in New York right now, and, we got what we got. So bet the under.
That's a smart bet. Saints are ranked number 4 in defense, and Daniel Jones, though, not throwing away the ball that we thought he would. Either way, moving on to your second game. What do you got, Danny?
So talking about throwing away the ball, I'm taking a look at the Jets in this one. We're going to the other side of New York, and you're talking about turnovers. Well, bring out the turnover chain right here because Zach Wilson leading the league in interceptions, and that's just going to keep happening. I have a bet, okay? I'm keeping the turnover chain on. Let's keep this is good vibes.
Keep it on.
I have a bet, and I've created a name for this bet. It's called A Study in Green. Every week of the entire year, I don't care what the number is. I don't care who they're playing. I'm betting on the Jets team total under. I'm betting the Jets won't score in any game. So far, last game they got blanked. Their offense is sorry. I like Robert Saleh, the head coach, but he's a defensive guy. He's maybe good for the culture. That's nice for the Jets, who have had crappy culture for, the entirety of their organization's history. But, not since Broadway Joe. But at this point, I just have no faith in them to do anything, even against a Titans defense that gives up points. So a big thing for me is that when Zach Wilson is on the field, he's probably going to be throwing picks. And when he's not, Derrick Henry's just going to be pounding the rock. Time in and time out. The Titans are going to be on the field the whole game, and the Jets won't even have a chance to score. So, again, a fade New York play from a guy in the heart of the city over here. I'm going with the Jets under 20 points. I know it might be at 17.5 on some books. I saw it change. That's even plus money. I saw that for plus 105. Take that. I don't care what the number is. I'm betting it every week. Jets under.
Kenny, in a moment, we'll find out if you think that Danny, your buddy, is an idiot or actually knows what he's talking about. I want to remind everyone, though, that, of course, you get your questions to us. Doesn't matter what it is. Maybe there's a bet you're thinking about, a parlay, a reverse, some sort of a sweet money play that you need to get in on. If you have a question for us, get it to us. We will answer them at the end. The rapid-fire Q&A is how we wrap up the show. So anything at all. Could be a fantasy question, could be a prop bet, could be a team that you've overheard some action. You want to get the insider's take. You can hit us up as well, and we will get to those questions before we're out of here. Kenny, Danny, you heard what he has to say about a couple over-unders in New York. I know that anyone who lives outside of New York has already stopped looking at what is happening with the football programs in the city. Do you believe, or do you think that Danny should go ahead and replace his opinion like his replacement's jersey?
How do you argue the numbers, right? The Jets can't seem to score any game. So I like that. I like his logic behind fade the Jets every week. Seems like a profitable strategy. I'm on the other side for the Giants game. I'm not touching the total, but I kind of like the Giants here. Daniel Jones hasn't looked terrible. They do have a solid defense. And if not for an epic collapse against the Washington football team, the Giants would be 2-1 right now. 1-2. So I think the Giants can keep this close. The spread is anywhere from 7.5 to 8. We talked about it on Thursday. In an NFL game, that many points is a lot. And Daniel Jones is 9-1 against the spread on the road. So I like the Giants here to keep this one close. As far as the total, I don't have a bet for that one, but I think the Giants get it done today.
Calm, cool, and Kenny bets big. I hope you have a chain similar to Danny's. Let's get to your games. You have a pair of underdog plays. Which ones are you going with?
Yeah, so first we're going to head to Minnesota. We got Cleveland at Minnesota. The Vikings are +2, +1.5, depending where you look. I love this game. I think this is just a classic overreaction. The Vikings, in theory, both these teams, in theory, could be undefeated, right? The Browns collapsed versus the Chiefs, and then you have the Vikings missed a field goal to win it in Week 2 against the Cardinals, and then Week 1, couple bad calls cost them that game. So the Vikings, I think a lot of people are down on them, but they've actually are a very good team this year. Kirk Cousins is playing amazing. In the 1 p.m. starting time, Kirk Cousins is 20-9 against the spread. The Vikings are expected to get back starting linebacker Anthony Barr and starting first-round pick left tackle Christian Darrisaw. They're both expected to make their season debuts today. And I don't know if anyone's heard of this guy, Dalvin Cook, but he's supposed to play today as well. So, public all over the Browns here. The line is dropping in certain books. I like the Vikings a lot here. So, yeah, I would take them on the money line too.
This is a Kevin Stefanski homecoming. Yay! I love when coaches go back to their home team.
Well, it's probably the biggest homecoming story of the week, I think, right? Isn't that the one everyone's talking about?
Who is Bill Belichick and Tom Brady? To them in a second. What is your second game, Kenny? What do you got?
Yeah, so we're fading the public in the first game, taking the Vikings. We're going to ride with the public here because they win too. So I'm going with the Seahawks +3 against the 49ers. The 49ers just had their souls ripped out of them by Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football. And Russell Wilson, for his career, is 7-1-1 against the spread when he's coming off back-to-back losses, which is good for 88%, right? Pete Carroll is 13-2-1 against the spread, coming off back-to-back losses, which is good for 87%. The 49ers secondary in absolute shambles. Jason Verrett is on the IR. Kawon Williams is out for this game. Newly acquired Josh Norman is doubtful for this game. And they're facing the number 2 offense in the NFL in the Seattle Seahawks. They're ranked first in yards per play, averaging over 7 yards a play. So, yeah, I think the Seahawks can't afford to lose this game because they have the Rams on the schedule next week. So I think we're going to see a very, very hungry Seattle team, and I think they come out and get the job done today.
I think this line was put together in Fisherman's Wharf because something is very fishy about it. It seems where's my cup? That's a great pun right there. There is that. Thank you.
You can't request the cup, Kevin. You can't request it.
I made a great Fisherman's Wharf local reference, San Francisco. The line smells fishy. I mean, come on, guys. This is like I was up early writing this shit this morning. If you think about it, that line seems off to me. If someone said these are the two teams playing, who's the favorite in this one? It's weird that they're giving the Niners a field goal. It seems off. I think Kenny's onto something. I don't like to agree with Kenny. He's cost me money personally this season. I am vengeful about that, but I do feel that there's something just off about it. I think that not only does Seattle win the game, I like them winning this game by as much as a touchdown, maybe more.
Danny, do you have any thoughts on either of these two games that your buddy just put his 2 cents on?
Yeah, absolutely. I got to ride with Kenny on the Seahawks there. I definitely do like them. I mean, you heard the against the spread numbers. That's just a profitable bet. You know, you get percentages like that. You can't look away from that. And I really like the spot here. The Niners, like he said, are hurting right now. I like Chris Carson a lot today. If you guys are looking at your fantasy teams or maybe player props, I think he pounds the rock. I think his over-under rush yards is set about 50.5, somewhere around that, or 55.5, I think I saw. He's gonna pound the rock, and I see him getting it done for him. I think that the Seahawks stay in control of this game, and yeah, coming off a soul crushing loss to Aaron Rodgers, it's got to sting. I agree, Kevin, as well. The line looks a little suspect, so I'm on the Seahawks too here. I like it.
Huh. I will say Russell Wilson, one of 4 quarterbacks who have played in all 3 games and have had 0 interceptions. So give that to Russ. And I see DK Metcalf having a pretty decent Sunday, especially how Devontae Adams kind of dominated our DB. So let's see. This could be an interesting one. But either way, they're both kind of, rubbing the wound a little bit because they're both hurt from losses last Sunday. All right, Kevin, you're going to a football game today. What in the world are you going?
Battle of the Undefeateds. Yeah, it's happening. SoFi Stadium. It's going to be, I know they say the weather's perfect in Southern California, but it will be raining points a little bit later on this afternoon. Cardinals and the Rams.
This joke too.
I didn't write that. That came to me. That was a divine intervention right there. And I'll tell you right now, I'm excited. Hollywood knows how to put on a show, and technically we're going to be in Inglewood, but as you know, it's very poetic what is going on here. You have 2 undefeated teams. I don't think these undefeated teams personally are equally undefeated. If you think about some of the teams that Arizona has beaten, the Jaguars, I don't even know if you get credit for beating the Jaguars. Is that even worth anything anymore? It almost counts as like a tie. I feel like they beat the Titans and they beat the Vikings. So, as opposed to what we all saw last week and what was the game of the week, watching the Rams kind of take down Tom Brady, the great one, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the Rams have shown that they can actually win important games. They have been impressive. Offensively, if you look at them, they've put up 34 points both times at home. I don't think they've scored under 27 points this season. So the over seems to be where everyone is leaning. They believe it to be a very high-scoring affair. The public, who I usually think is wrong, seems to be all over the over in this one, which is currently, it's been moving a little bit, but I think it's somewhere at 54 and a half. Is that where it's at now? So, I would lean into Kenny on this one first, and then I'll see what Danny has to say. But it's hard for me to not go over, especially because Arizona's been putting up a lot of points as well. You got 2 teams that put up points. The only reason I would say don't go over is because everyone thinks it's going to be over.
Yeah,
Kenny loves
I would
an
agree with you
under.
there. Yeah, no, I hate betting the unders, but unfortunately, it's usually the sharp angle. But yeah, I agree with Kevin. I think this game has the potential to just fly over. Both coaches, offensive-minded coaches. The Rams, another bet for this I like too is the Rams first half. If you look at the Rams splits between the first half and second half, the Rams are just absolutely pounding on teams in the first half of these games. And then it's kind of like they're just like coasting the second half, just coasting to victory. So yeah, that's something I'm going to follow, and I'm going to follow that trend probably all season, see how it does. Just ride the Rams first half because, they're offensive and defensive juggernauts for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting. I meant to say this when I was talking my Giants under. People like to say life's too short to bet the under. I disagree. Life is long and agonizing. Bet some unders because it is the sharp play a lot of the time, like Kenny said. And, typically in games where the line is set at around 55 and above, I will shy away from the over a little bit just because it's just a huge number. But Kyler Murray is putting up video game numbers. Matt Stafford with Sean McVay is a problem. I love the connection to Cooper Kupp. I just think the offense is so fluid. It looks really good. I'm big on the Rams this season. I think they're going to the Super Bowl out of the NFC. But I'm not touching the total here. But if I was, I can't bet the under here. As agonizing as life is, and as much as I like just an ugly, just nasty rain game with 4th and 1 stops, I would lean to the over here anyway.
I'm going to give
tempting.
you one. Yeah, but here's the one stat, and this is the thing. Just when you feel like every single thing is lining up for the over, Arizona under is hit in 8 straight road games. That's something worth thinking about. 8 straight games on the road, the under is hit for Zona. And the last, in case you're thinking about which one of these teams you like, just kind of taking, if you're thinking of a straight up bet, I'm going to have a lot of action on it because I will be there. So for me, I want to have as much action going on in every possible way, including over under on how long I'll be waiting in line to use one of the brand new bathrooms at SoFi. LA's won 8 straight matchups between the two of these guys. So there's something to think about as well. And as far as prop bets, player props, I think there's some value in Robert Woods. Robert Woods has had a very kind of off season so far, considering kind of the talent level there. Right now, the number is at 58.5. That's the over under receiving yards. He did put up 64 yards in week 2. Both other weeks, he's just not gotten a lot of looks, and he has not been playing well. But the last time I think they played, or the last few times, he averages about 90 against Arizona. So I look at it like, look, this is something that could be one play. He goes over 58.5 yards. The number's way down because he just hasn't had a great season. He's not been getting a lot of looks from Stafford, but I think that this is the week that he does make that happen. So I've been pretty strong on my prop player bets this season so far, including what I gave you on Thursday night, where Kenny and I were high-fiving before the show because I think we were spot on pretty much all of our Thursday picks. I like Robert Woods. Everything in LA, everything in the NFL is poetic. So you got the game in Inglewood, you got Robert Woods. I woke up with Morningwood. This is a beautiful symmetry of action that's happening right now, guys. It's all a trifecta.
I think you're on 4, Kevin. You know what? I am with you on Robert Woods because Cooper Kupp has been obviously Matthew Stafford's favorite, but I will say that Robert Woods is a favorite for Sean McVay, and he's probably going to try and get him some action in this game, especially because just like the way that he's utilized his wide receivers, right? The first touchdown of the game for the Rams, first touchdown of the season was Van Jefferson. People are over here talking about Cooper Kupp so much and they're, the little tandem with Matthew Stafford. Van Jefferson, I think Deshaun Jackson got in the mix last week. You have Robert Woods, who's sort of like, hey, man, get me the ball. I want a touchdown here. So I could see that being a very realistic and a smart prop bet to make heading into this game, which you're going to go see in person, Kevin. So that's exciting. Also, the over, very tempting because these two teams know how to score a lot of points. But I do think that the Rams defense will keep it semi-lower, although they have let up a lot of points on defense this season so far. They need some tweaking. Either way, the over.
Serena, we'll get to your game in a second. I know you've got a game that you want to touch on as well. But before we do that, guys, this is what I like to call a surprise in the moment prop. Obviously, if you were checking out Urban Meyer trending last night, not because of the Jags finally getting themselves a win, but because of some activity, suspicious or salacious activity at a bar with a co-ed, a woman that was not his wife. I've got a quick early prop, and I want to get your thoughts on this. Kenny Bets Big, Danny Brasco, and of course, Serena Morales, or as Serena says in her voicemail, Serena Morales. What will be the excuse, the official excuse we get from Urban Meyer? Will he say, 1, he's addicted to dancing. He's going to go to dancing rehab. He can't help it, but he's addicted to dancing. Will he say it wasn't him? It was his brother by the name of Mervyn Iyer that we've never met before. These are all prop bets you could take, guys. Will he say that this is, look, at this point, he's decided that he needs to step away. He needed a good excuse to step away from his coaching job in Jacksonville, so he needs to now focus on his family. This was a premeditated thing, so he can focus on the family. There's your third option. Or 4, he's going to let everyone know that he's part of a throuple. These are your options, guys. Which ones? Which ones will it be?
Okay, Danny,
Kenny,
you
I'll
go
start with
first.
you.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So I'm going.
well-oiled
How
machine
can you
here.
not go?
You.
How can you not go Mervyn Iyer? Right? It has to be his twin brother. We just saw there's another James Harden running around with Law Nation. So there's a very likely chance that there's a second Urban Meyer running around too.
Mervyn Iyer definitely got to be the favorite there.
That's my excuse.
Mervyn Iyer has to be the favorite. That's probably, minus 120, something like that. I'm going to go polygamy. I'm going to go that they're in a polyamorous relationship. If you saw too, he had a little arm block going. She was like grinding up on him, and he had like the slight arm block. So maybe it was the one saving grace he had, like babe, go back to his wife. I was trying. She was all up on me. I'm not going to, she's a woman. I don't want to put my hands on her. So he just put out the little wedge block on her, a little wedge block.
Right. I would love to see that as an excuse that works. Like, oh, I had my arm just placed so specially, right? In front of, my Robert Wood. I don't think that works so well. I'm going with Fire, whatever the second name is as well. I think that's how he's going. I mean, he's pretending he's an NFL coach. Might as well pretend he's someone else, at a bar dancing with a woman.
He doesn't refer to his penises as Robert. He doesn't refer to his penises as Robert Wood. He refers to it as Oscar Meyer. Serena, get it right. Come on now. You gotta get it straight.
You don't get a ding for that. You don't get a ding for that.
I do. What is your game this week, Serena? Listen. Is it the homecoming game everyone's talking about? We've been stalling and dancing around it. What is your big game this week?
Reunited, and it feels so good. We got Tom Brady heading back to stomping grounds to see good old over gregarious Bill Belichick. I am very excited about this game, as I'm sure all of you are. I know Bill Belichick hasn't slept at all. He probably has a jade roller for his eyeballs because he's sort of very concerned with his looks overall. I mean, Tom has had all of his green smoothies this week. He is ready to play football. He apparently kicked Giselle and the kids out there. They went early Friday to just leave the man alone with his hair products. And I think this is going to be an interesting matchup. I think I talked about it before, but I think Tom Brady is a sensitive man. I think obviously he cares about the glamour, the things that he does best. And if there's one person that's really going to get under his skin, it is Bill Belichick. I think he is just the guy who will ask the DJ to play all these songs about when they broke up, and like whatever that song is, Betty Davis Eyes, I don't know, that would be my guess. Just some classic song, maybe an Adele song that's just, and he's like, I can't believe you played that, Bill. I can't. In real football terms, he did add an extra DB to the roster this week because he knows Tom Brady likes to throw the ball. And so he's going to force the run for the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers have not been running the football very much. So he's like, go ahead, figure this out, my friend. We gonna watch you with my 6th, 7th DB on the field. And it's just all DBs in the backfield for the Patriots. So I think it'll be a closer game than people think. But this is the apple of my eye this week. Sunday Night Football. I'm very excited about it.
If you're just joining us, by the way, this is Pregaming. My name is Kevin Klein. That is Serena Morales. We're joined, as always, by Kenny Betts Big, a pro capper, and Danny Brasco, the cheap knockoff of Donnie Brasco, because that's what we could afford in the budget. Now, this is the game that everyone's eyes are on. It's the reunited. It's the what will happen. We will get into the prop bet as to what exactly will happen when they when Tom Brady and Bill Belichick get within the same TV frame of each other. Will it be a hug? Will it be a handshake? Will it be a tongue kiss? As you know, Tom Brady's a huge fan of the tongue kiss. He does it with his kids, I believe. We learned that. These are all good questions, and we will get into that a little bit later. But on the game itself, I'm very interested. Kenny Betts Big. When you think about like Tom Brady, the arguments being made this week sound very similar to the arguments that were made last week when they lost by 10 points to the Rams. Tom Brady doesn't lose big games. Tom Brady can handle the pressure. He's the greatest there is. I'm hearing literally the same arguments I heard a week ago about this game tonight. And so it makes me think, well, it didn't pan out a week ago. Why will it pan out tonight when he goes back to his old stomping grounds?
I mean, there's a key difference here. He's playing the Patriots, not the Rams. Unfortunately for me as a Patriots fan, we're just not the same team we were when we had Brady. But I think this is a great spot to ride the Patriots here. Brady for his career is 10-11 against the spread when the spread is 7 points or higher. The public all over this game as far as they're slamming the Bucs because everyone's thinking what everyone's thinking. Brady off a loss against the Patriots, he's coming for blood. But, he's going up against Bill Belichick, still in my opinion the best football coach the NFL has ever seen. I think he's going to have those guys very prepared, X's and O's, And yeah, I think the Patriots, their strength is still their defense. They have a great secondary, and I think they're going to make it tough for Brady. I think they're going to limit, Godwin, Mike Evans, and those guys. And I think this is going to be a game.
I think, yeah, the line of 7 is a little fishy. I mean, I like to try to stay away from big narrative bets. It's just an easy picture to paint in your mind, like you guys were discussing with the Rams game last week. Brady is this, he's the GOAT, he doesn't lose. It's just, it's not enough for me to just buy into a narrative and that you kind of just concoct in your head. However, it's hard to overlook Brady and his, when he went to Tampa and then gets this Super Bowl, proves that it wasn't just the mastery of Belichick. It was him, and he can do it, with another squad. He's gotten that sort of chip off the shoulder, but going into Foxborough to do it against him, I can't not ride with that. I'm not in love with the 7. I'm a really big teaser guy. I'm huge on teasers in the NFL. If you guys aren't familiar, it's sort of where you get to play with the spread. So instead of going with 7 points, I would do a 6-point teaser, which means instead you can do it Buccaneers -1. And you combine that with another team that you change the spread by 6 points. It's almost like a parlay, but with different spreads. And I like that a lot. I get away from them having to win by a whole touchdown. I could see it being a close game. So I do like Brady to get it done over Belichick. As great as he may game plan for this and as great as he may coach this game, it's the talent level on the field that's the difference. And the coaches can't make the plays themselves. So I'm riding with the Buccaneers in a teaser -1. That's more safe to me.
You're joining us on Pregaming. We got Kenny Bets Big. We got Danny Brasco. We got Kevin Klein. Thank you for watching us. Please follow us, The Game Day NFL on Twitter. Thanks for joining us. We're getting you ready for the Sunday slate of football, and we're talking about the big Sunday night matchup. Tom Brady and the Bucs against his former team, the Patriots, and Bill Belichick. Kevin, thank you also for being here, and I'm excited for you to go to the game today and bringing up, we've got some fan questions we'd like to get to. Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll get to your rapid fire Q&As in just a second.
We got a prop bet too, Kevin.
Yeah. Let's lock in though. Let's go ahead and quickly lock in our takes. We'll start Danny. We'll go you, then Kenny, then Serena, then I'll follow it up. What will be the when the two of them, when the dad and the son, they come back together, the teacher and the student, although I'm not sure who's the teacher and who's the student anymore. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, when they cross paths on the field, what will happen? Will it be the handshake? Will it be the hug? Will it be the salute? Will they ignore each other like scorned lovers? And just follow each other and write passive-aggressive things on each other's Instagram like, you're hanging out with that slut. What will it be? Kenny, what say you? And then we'll make our way around the squares. Kenny.
I think there's a good chance they ignore each other or just like a real quick, brief handshake. I don't think they hug. I don't think they get into it there on the field. They're both private guys. We've seen Belichick hides everything from the media. So, yeah, I think it'll be a quick either handshake or nothing at all.
I want like a longing look. Like I want just like a really dramatic moment, maybe like a back of the head grasp, and they just sort of, stare at each other from close range for a bit, and just nothing is said, but everything is said. You know what I mean? That's what I'm taking in this prop.
Given the fact that these two guys have like Jedi mind tricks against each other, I think Bill tries to mess with Brady right before the game. He goes, I know this man. He's sensitive. He misses me. And he pulls him in and he goes, I miss you, son. And he says that and he lets him go into the abyss on the other sidelines. And boom, that is what's going to happen.
If there's any chance that the Patriots win this game, which I think is very slim, there will be a big embrace that will be, of course, orchestrated by Bill Belichick. If there's a blowout, or even if it's a close game and the Bucs win in the end, Bill Belichick, as you know, may be the worst loser there is in all of football. I believe he will walk off the field hidden under his sweatshirt. Serena's doing her spot-on Bill Belichick impression right now, although her sweatshirt is way cleaner than his is. But that's the same idea that he will sweatshirt on, and it will be a disappearing act unlike anything the world has ever seen since Siegfried and Roy. There's a reference for you. No cup, please. I don't deserve a cup on that one. So that's my thought on how it will go. Let's get to your rapid fire Q&A. Questions that you have about games that you need the answers to. We are here for you, of course. Kenny is a pro capper, international traveler. He's got all sorts of who knows what sort. He's got bags of cash, stacks of cash. The guy likes to roll with money. I haven't seen you pull up a stack of cash yet today. Danny Brasco. Actually, Danny, I wanted to let you know, I know you're a New York fan, and I'm sorry that the Jets and the Giants are both terrible this year, but the best bet you can currently make in New York is Powerball. Powerball, no one won it last night. So in case you woke up this morning and wondering if you are $600 million richer, you are not, because no one won that thing. It's going to be upwards of $700 million, and I think there's a better chance of you winning that than the Giants getting a win. But let's go ahead and get to these questions on the rapid-fire Q&A that have been coming through during the show today. Better odds, guys. Tom Brady gets blown out in Foxborough, or Houston, a 17-point underdog, gets the win against Buffalo. Better odds. What happens? Kenny, we'll start with you.
So I've been big against Josh Allen for the first 3 weeks. He made me eat my words last week. There's no way that the Texans are beating the Bills this week. So I would have to go Brady gets blown out in Foxborough for sure.
Wow.
I'll go to the other side. I don't think Brady's getting blown out in Foxborough. And of course, I'm not going to be betting the Texans. But 17, minus 17 if you're on the Bills, is a number I refuse to lay. That's just astronomical. So if anything, I think Houston keeps it close enough and maybe has a shot. But there's no way I see Brady getting blown out. So I'll sprinkle a hay penny on the Houston Texans.
All right. Here's a second question from our fans. If you had to watch more entertaining game, Colts, Dolphins, Titans, Jets, Dan.
More entertaining? If you're as cynical as I am, watch the Titans Jets game. It's going to be a laugh fest. It's just going to be a ha another interception. It's funny. It's funny to lose when you know you're going to lose. So, and I think it's hilarious. I think it'll be a good time. Bring out the turnover chain again. Zach Wilson. I saw someone had a bet Zach Wilson to lead the league in interceptions at the beginning of the year. I was like, how was I not on that? That's a lock. So just watch a hilarious game of errors. It's going to be a good time.
Keep that chain on. Kenny, do you agree?
There's nothing entertaining about the New York Jets, like not one thing at all. You can put their game on every single week and you're going to be just bored to death. Their offense is inept. They don't move the ball. Like Brasco said, they don't score points. So you have to go Colts Dolphins here. The Dolphins were, a win away from the playoffs last year. The Colts, everyone thought were going to be a powerhouse this year. Colts Dolphins should be a good one.
Yeah, you gotta.
The correct answer, Serena. Everyone knows the correct answer here is you watch a rerun of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, because that's way more entertaining than either of these games are going to be. It's a terrible question that this person stuck. I know these games are on at the same time, but there's other games as well. I mean, get yourself a better package or something. I mean, Jesus Christ, if this is your two choices, it's a great time. Maybe now is the time you do that thing like my mom always said, like go outside and play. Or something like that. Maybe that's a good time to go outside and play, or something like that. If those are your options. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Hey, Seinfeld is on Netflix now.
That's right. Yeah, that's what you should do.
I think the Colts Dolphins, Jacoby Brissett playing his old team. Guys, we don't love when no one, not even anyone. I have a question actually. What's the over under for the amount of times Chris Collinsworth drools over Tom Brady tonight?
There's no number I won't play the over. Yeah.
Yeah. His cigarettes are going to be wet, I guess, because he will be salivating all over, as you know. That is, there's no denying that. It's pre-gaming, of course. I'm Kevin Klein. That's Serena Morales. Kenny Betts Big. Danny Brasco. We have the best thing we can promise you is there will be 0 Joe Buck appearances on this pre-game show, which is kind of nice. And we like to enjoy ourselves. To the Red Cup Army who's back week after week, we appreciate you. Live on Twitter, live on YouTube. We also do this thing on Thursdays and on Mondays before the games on the Instagram. So if you're not already following NFL Game Day. Now's a good time for you to go ahead and do that. We're at the rapid fire Q&A part. Let's go to this question. It's more of a general gambling question. Parlay or action reverse, do you have a preference? I actually have an interesting thought on this one. Danny, we'll start with you. If you're making a play and you can parlay or reverse it, what do you like better doing when there's two teams or two actions you're into?
This might be a lame answer from someone who bets sports, tries to do it professionally over here, but I'm not really into either. Parlays are just negative expected value, means you're not going to win money over time. Action reverse, I'm not a huge guy on that. If I'm going to throw something in there, I was talking about it before. I'm a teaser guy. It's just so much better, I think, in terms of being able to get a preferable line. I think it's just the smarter bet. So I have to say I prefer neither, to the dismay of this fan's question. Go teaser.
You know who else is a teaser? Urban Meyer. Kenny, what do you think?
Whoa.
I mean, it depends.
Teaser.
Honestly, I think it entirely depends, right? Everyone has what they're gambling for, totally different reasons. If you're someone who's throwing a couple bucks down and you're trying to hit it big, obviously you go a parlay. An action reverse, for many people who probably have no idea what that is, what that is it's essentially similar to a parlay, but the first game has to hit in order for the second game to be live, and then that second game has to hit in order for the third game to be live. So it's definitely less risk involved as far as the action reverse. So if there's a day where you like maybe 2-3 games, but you think one is on the fence, an action reverse is actually not a bad strategy, because if you have a bet you think is a surefire lock, you can make that your first leg. If that hits, then you go on to the next bet, which you were on the fence about. Whereas a parlay, obviously, if that on the fence bet loses, you're out. So it definitely depends on the preference. I don't really do much of either, but depends how much risk you want to take.
And I'll also say that action reverse can be fun to do, because the way a lot of people construct their parlays is, I'm gonna throw some 1 p.m. games, I'm gonna throw some 4 p.m. games, and then I'll kick it, I'll close it out with the Sunday night football game. It's just kind of a fun experience to watch it like that. So if you construct your parlay in that way, just having a good time, sitting around and watching football all day long in heaven, that can be a fun way to construct it. So I do like the way Kenny broke that down.
A lot of people, as you know, are in an eliminator, and hopefully you're still alive. I always get scared about a week like this where you've got a team that's like a crazy underdog like Houston. I feel like they're one of those teams that just is like an eliminator destroyer, where every single person, probably 80% of your eliminator is all on the Bills, just if they still have them left. This is an interesting question, though. A reverse eliminator. I didn't realize these even exist. People are trying to pick a team that will guaranteed lose every week, which is also a fun way to do it. I am not in a reverse eliminator. I definitely will be next season. So the question, guys, I mean, of all of these teams that are not winning, the Jets, the Colts, the Jags, the Giants, the Lions, sorry, Detroit, got to say it again. Which one of these teams has a chance to win today, or is it possible that they all become losers yet again? Kenny.
I think the Jets, Serena's touched on this in week 1. If the Jets win, this is like a very Jets game that they win. I wouldn't be shocked to see them win, but I would say the Jets, as far as talent-wise, where their team is, I think they have the best shot of going the longest without a win for sure.
It's hard to disagree with that. Longest without a win, it's got to be one of the two J's. It's Jets or Jags. And the Jaguars showed some hope in that Thursday night game against the Bengals. They made it a game. And even against the Cardinals, Jamal Agnew with the 109-yard, missed field goal return. They have some ability to make it exciting here and there. But, if Kenny's going Jets, I'll go Jags longest without a win, because I think the Colts, they've lost some close ones. They're well coached. I'm not a Carson Wentz guy, but they'll find a way to win some games and be semi-competitive this season. The Jets and the Jags, that's just not the case.
Yeah, the closest thing to winning that Urban Meyer experienced was on Sunday night. So I would go Jaguars in this one.
But you guys are forgetting that the Jaguars. Sorry, I was going to say you guys are forgetting the Jaguars do play the Texans again. The Jets don't have that luxury of, they're in a tougher division. So I think the Jaguars should beat the Texans when they play again. I hope.
I bet on the Jaguars
I'm
in
not
that game, thinking this is the one game they can circle on their schedule and be like, that's a win. And I was like, good job on betting on Jaguars Texans, Danny. Like, good job. I deserve that loss, you know?
I don't know if you're keeping track to the predictions, but I know that when Kenny was not at his home last week, he was at a villa on the beaches of Mexico. Serena this week is not in her home, and she's at a motel by the airport. So if you're going to decide who you're going to go with as it pertains to gambling advice, I mean, I'm going to go with the guy who's living villa style as opposed to the Red Roof Inn or wherever the hell you are right now, Serena. What's going on there, huh? What are you doing the whole show from a dark hotel? Well, this is like
where's
you're about
Kevin's
to,
cup for
like
that one?
Yeah, where's the cup for that? It's like the pregame for a snuff film or something. What's going on over there?
Kevin, I think
listen,
the odds makers on your over/under on the cups are purposefully trying to hit the under. Like your puns are firing up, but they're trying to. It's Vegas. Vegas called for the under.
It feels like typical Vegas is always one. Guys, Kenny bets big. Enjoy the game. Look, Sunday is, the greatest day of the week. We can all agree until that Sunday scary kicks in around 4 o'clock this afternoon. People have to go to a real job unless you're a professional capper like Kenny, where he doesn't even know what day of the week it is. If it wasn't for football, he would have no idea today was actually Sunday. So Kenny bets big. Danny Brasco, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us today, giving us your insights into all things. Enjoy the games as always. We appreciate you.
Always a pleasure. Good
Cheers,
luck, guys.
Cheers. Serena, final thoughts, huh? What do you think?
I'm looking for Brady and Belichick. I was going to guess that if Gronk had gone to the game, he's out for a couple weeks with some broken ribs. I would say that I thought that Gronk was going to sandwich the two in, and that was just going to solve the whole, awkward reunited situation. But because that's not happening, I think Bill's just like, come here. I miss you, son. That's what's going to happen. And that's how it'll go. And forget the football game, right? We even care about the football game? That's the pre.
No, not
It's like
really.
pre-gaming.
No.
We care about pre-gaming.
The real question is, who will be closer? Will it be Bill Belichick and Tom Brady post-game, or will it be Urban Meyer and that blonde co-ed? Who will have a closer embrace?
Oh, my gosh. You know what? I appreciate you, Kevin, and the fact that you joined us today, even though you're going to the Rams Cards game at SoFi Stadium. He did his hair just like Sean McVay because he's Sean McVay. Kevin, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you for joining us today on Pregaming. That's Kevin Klein. I'm Serena Morales. Enjoy your Sunday slate of games. We're so excited. Make sure you catch us on Monday and Thursday on IG Live. And we'll be here every Sunday. That's it for us. Cheers, Kevin. Don't hurt yourself too much today.
Enjoy your Sunday.
Thanks.
Greatest day of the week. Eat some wings.
On YouTube. We'll see ya.